Okay, so these are realistic Nova 10s. My dad has had these, I believe, since new. He's been using them as sort of monitor type stuff for his little tiny studio downstairs. This year, my brother and I pooled some resources and got him some Austrian Audio HI X65s. And suffice to say, he does not want these anymore. So they're mine now. And I'm going to keep them because, well, they're kind of like camping. Let me explain. Let's start with the tuning. There's basically no bass, like at all. Like, I think there's enough sort of lower mid-range that you can kind of hear like kick drums, but there's nothing there. There's also no treble, like, at all. Everything sounds like it's being recorded through, I don't know, 5 inches of cloth. I don't know, but what really made me laugh, though, is like, okay, it's got no bass, it's got no treble. If you're like me, you're thinking, well, the human voice is basically only mid-range, right? So these are probably okay for, like, spoken content. No, they're not. There's all sorts of weird peaks and troughs in the mid-range. And there's this interesting resonance. It's sort of, there's certain notes where it just sort of resonates and basically starts screaming, like certain chords and stuff. And it just sort of blocks out everything else. It's so much more powerful than any signal this freaking thing will put out. So, no. But really, what made me break down laughing while testing these out was that when I paused the music, there was just this brief echo. It's like when I was a little kid, I had a toy microphone that the whole thing it did was it was a plastic tube with a little tiny spring in the base, so it would kind of echo a little bit. And that was supposed to be the whole thing. It's supposed to sound like a stadium, I suppose. This does that. How? What? There's no springs. What? This is just plastic on metal friction here. This is just the noisiest stretchy rubber I've ever encountered. There's no, but it resonates and just sings out for like a tenth of a second when you shut the music off. So that's the tuning taken care of. As far as fit goes, they hurt my ears and they hurt my head. These plastic cushions, they're kind of not cushions anymore. I have to push pretty hard to deform them. It feels like wood blocks, kind of. So that's nice. Of course, there's no aftermarket for realistic Nova 10s. A lot of realistics at the time were built by like COS or AKG or something. No, this is nobody. Oh, I do love the noise they make when you clap the cups together, though. That's pretty good. As far as practicality goes, they're only 8 ohms. Apparently that was common at the time. Otherwise, the lowest impedance headphone I have is like 15 ohms, and it's like a little in-ear guy. This is... So, I mean, the lower the ohms are, right, the less power it needs to drive, because just there's less force that has to be put out for it to actually do anything. There's no resistance to the current in these. I mean, like 8 ohms is nothing. It's a speaker cabinet, it's not headphones. But we gotta talk about practicality for a second, because at the end of the cord, there's this guy. Just 1/4-inch guitar lead. There's no adapter. So it takes basically no power to drive them, but you can't run them out of something like a phone or a computer or whatever, because yeah, so I had to get I had to get what I have as a hi-fi rig out to listen to these things. This is why I'm keeping them. They do make me laugh, because this is just It's such a thing. And like, I want to like bright the plastic to make it look right again. I already did some isopropyl scrub on the plastic, and that cleaned away most of the crap. I just want to restore them perfectly for no reason, but like there are no parts for them, obviously, because this is a nobody headphone made by nobody and sold to Radio Shack at some point, and my dad bought them. Anyway, it's without a doubt the worst headphones I have. Like, most of the time there's like a talent that every design has, that like it's really good at something at least. No, this has nothing. This is with unquestionably the worst headphone I have, but in a lot of ways I find that to be kind of endearing. It's almost like camping. It sort of reminds you of like things you can have, like bass and treble and harmonic dampening, which I didn't even realize was necessary, but these things echo like a cave in the middle of nowhere, so apparently it is. I saw like a new old stock pair of these with the box, all the packaging, the paperwork, $38. No, do not buy these for that. The only reason to buy these is to laugh at them like I do. Not even meanly, just like genuinely I am entertained, because these are just such a thing. So anyway, yeah, there we go. That's my official review.